Hey there folks, Joey DeAngelis here. Welcome to Silent Film Saturday, episode number 48. Today we shall conclude our review on this box set, the Lon Chaney double feature set with Victory and Wicked Darling, by talking about The Wicked Darling, directed by Tod Browning and starring Lon Chaney as a supporting character. But the main character essentially is Priscilla Dean in this movie. Story goes something like this. Priscilla Dean's kind of a streetwalker, and she meets up with this former fiance of a rich, really rich woman, socialite, and they kind of hit it off, and she's trying to go to a path towards redemption, and Chaney's trying to skewer her off of that path. Let me just say this first, to preface this. This is not the best film I've reviewed in this series. In fact, it's very generic, and I don't find a lot of the performances that compelling. I like Chaney in the film as Stoop Connors, who's this pickpocket, and there's just he's so kind of sinister and creepy, and I like that aspect of him. It's just the Priscilla Dean and the rich guy's love story just doesn't interest me very much, and they as performers they didn't do much to interest me either. It wasn't terrible. It's just I knew what was going to happen, and they didn't do it in such a way where it was kind of cool. It was just okay. It's there. But this film was long thought to have been lost, but it was discovered. Let me check where it was discovered again, just to. Wicked Darling was from the Netherlands Film Museum. This is the version that they show here is the only print in existence. And as a silent film fan, you really have to take what you can get in a lot of these things, and that's what happens here. It's not the best film, but it's a film I'll revisit every so often. Last time I revisited this was like almost 4 years ago. It's not the greatest film, but you really have to appreciate the fact that it still exists, because there's so many silent films that just don't exist. Now, the story isn't interesting, but what I do like about it is that it's definitively a Tod Browning film. The characters are social outsiders, and you do have characters that do look creepy and look like they could be in a Tod Browning film. In the beginning, there's a guy who has no teeth, and he has all this stuff on him, and to me, I'm like, that is such a Tod Browning touch, adding these really weird social oddities into the film. It's just something Tod Browning would do. And then you have, of course, Chaney's character. The main characters are kind of outsiders. You have the rich guy's kind of an outsider because he used to be rich, but now he's become poor, and now his engagement has been broken off because he's a poor man now. Priscilla Dean's an outsider because, she's kind of a streetwalker, girl of the streets, and she's trying to go towards redemption. So in that sense, you kind of see familiar plot trends in Tod Browning's films, but it just isn't my favorite. I would definitely check it out, though, if you're a Tod Browning fan, or a Lon Chaney fan, or even a Priscilla Dean fan, because it's just an interesting first collaboration between Tod Browning and Lon Chaney. Like, Chaney's character isn't sympathetic in this film like he is in other ones. He's this kind of sinister, this kind of jerk type of character. He's trying to get Priscilla Dean to go back to the quote-unquote dark side. I hate using that term. And, he's rather good in the film, in my opinion. But other than that, it's just kind of okay, because the story isn't fantastic, but the setting and some of the imagery is pretty cool. Another note, obviously, because this is the only print, you would expect that there is a lot of print damage, and there is a lot of print damage on this film. However, if you're a silent film fan like myself, you probably can sit through bad film prints if it's for the sake of watching a film which it's the only copy of its kind in existence. Next week, I shall be discussing a colossal epic, Die Nibelungen. See you next week.